Welcome back to my morning report. Chart appraisal is on Friday the 24th of July with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Han Tech Markets. Moving on to dollar yen. And this dollar yen chart isn't that chart. That's the dollar yen chart. This dollar yen chart is moving sideways, and you had this sort of bear key one day reversal that we saw a couple of days ago, Tuesday. Which came at the big resistance at around that 23.6% fib level, which is 24.20, and around that 24.43 spike high. So the resistance is in place, and you've had a bearish candle, but subsequently we've seen a couple of sort of very middle of the road candles, which are not really doing a great deal. So it would suggest that there is a sort of a slight erring at this resistance. Obviously, bear in mind we've got that bear key one day reversal, bearish engulfing candle, but the downside pressure is not really taking hold. And I think if you look at the stochastics, for example, you've had this crossover, but you've not got the sell signal confirmed because you've not had a cross back below 80. Other indicators as well, the RSI is not really falling, it's basically flat, and MACD lines are flat as well. So it looks like we're sort of on the knife edge at the moment, I think, in this chart, and those two very sort of indecisive days, which were almost doji candles but not quite, would suggest that is the case. And if you look at even on this is the hourly chart, the hourly chart's even flatter, increasingly neutral momentum indicators, RSI sort of forming mid 30s up towards just over 60, so that is very neutral. Moving average is also flattening. MACD lines flat on the hourly as well. So basically it is sort of looking for a catalyst, I think, at the moment, and it's increasingly sort of tight in terms of range. 23.50 on the downside, finding resistance again at that 23.6% fib level, again, interestingly enough. So it needs to be pushed either way, and until we see, I think, a decisive breach. And I say a decisive breach, I think not only the 123.50 support, I also think the 38.2% fib level as well, because that 38.2% fib, if I zoom out here, is a consistent pivot level, has been used on numerous times as a key pivot level on this chart. So I would say that is a key downside level that needs to be broken if the bears are going to get control, but at the moment I think it's still sort of range bound between these two fib levels. Also on the upside, I don't think you're going to get too excited until you see a break above 24.50, for example. So it's a bit of a rangy one at the moment, dollar yen, and I think it needs a push either way, and it's fairly sort of middle within that range. So it would appear that it's fairly neutral in terms of outlook at the moment, but I wish you good luck in your trading, therefore. So I'll speak to you later.